one shouldn't be intimidated by them, but should really understand that to get past all the things that keep us from having a spiritual life, we need an energy that is strong, that is nurturing, that goes deep inside us. So, you don't be intimidated by this. Let it just open you. I mean, we are all worthy of having happy, incredible lives. We're all worthy of really living in the world and being successful in the world. We're all worthy of, more than anything else, just being happy people. And that kind of inner balance doesn't take place if we fight it. We have to be vulnerable. We have to allow ourselves to open. We have to allow that energy to come into us so that it really gives us that balance, that depth. As I always say, to do three things: to be able to receive spiritual energy, which is very powerful energy, to be able to live in the world, and to activate Kundalini, which is the pathway to enlightenment. If we're not vulnerable, if we don't let the energy in, if we don't let it work on us, if we get deterred by every little silly thing that happens, every problem that comes up, it never works. We're just stuck with us trying to figure out how to make this world work. And there aren't a lot of people alive that can figure out how to make this world work, especially how to become happy living in this world. So this work is about this. It's about truly learning how to do what I'm talking about. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes guts. It really takes guts, a lot of courage to work against oneself, to overcome our limitations, our problems, and to master our inner life so that we can continue to grow and we can ultimately truly be happy people living in the world with joy, with love, with compassion, with forgiveness. The way we not only approach ourselves, but the way we approach the other people that really live in the world that we live in. Our families, our friends, our jobs, whatever we have to do every day. So please, let's everyone try to work in great depth inside and truly open. My job, honestly, is not to have students. My job is to give it away, to really give it to people that truly want to take this energy and use it, as a step ladder for them to get to God, to spiritual enlightenment, to literally spending every day of their life being happy and just finding that self-worth to live that way in the world. So please, everyone, try to open in great depth inside. And if after the class is over, if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them. And if anyone has a question they would like to ask.
Could you talk about grace?
About what?
Grace.
Strength?
Grace.
Race. What about it?
We ask for help in the meditation. So what are our effort or the rule of grace in this? What is the balance between?
The balance between what?
About how deeply we ask, we receive, or is just that?
Well, if you ask superficially, you'll get superficially. If you ask deeply, from a need that goes really deep inside you to have a spiritual life, the universe will respond accordingly. So it depends on your need. You understand? How deep we ask inside is how deep we need to have a spiritual life. And if the need isn't very deep, the answer's going to come back very superficial. Because you can only do for somebody what they're ready to receive. And it's why I tell everybody that every class, every time you sit down, you have to ask a little deeper. The hunger has to get a little more. Because when you really can plummet the depths of your being and ask for help to open, to surrender, you know, it's like waterfalls come down. I mean, it's like incredible energy will come into you to help you to grow. That's the balance, you understand? Depending upon your need, how deeply you need to grow. Or if you're doing it just as a tranquilizer, you know, calm yourself down, get a little quieter, you know, have a couple of clear hours during the day. I mean, that's not enough, because that's a byproduct of doing meditation. We get a sense of peace inside ourselves. The mind isn't yakking away. That's part of it. But the need to grow and the need to go really deep inside and ask and open, that brings wisdom, it brings knowledge, it brings infinite energy in the universe. It brings the ability to live one's life in a state of balance and to truly not be afraid to tap the unknown. So, you know, it just depends on each and every one of us, how deeply we need to grow. And it's easy to fluff it off and, oh, I don't, you know, but, and one thing I can guarantee, that time passes. I mean, that's the only guarantee I could ever sign, any contract that I would sign with anybody, is that we get older. And it depends on what we do with the time as we get older. And people, and very often, well, how will that interfere with my family? It doesn't. The only thing that is going to interfere between you and your family is the blocks and tensions inside yourself. The only thing that can interfere with you and success in life are the blocks and tensions inside yourself. And the whole purpose of meditation is to break those blocks and tensions down, so that we can have success in life. We can have deep and wonderful relationships with our family. You understand? We can do incredible things. And above everything else, we can just be happy people, living every day with joy in our heart. So that, you know, that need to grow determines how far a person goes in their life. I mean, it's also like with money, the need to make money, that greed, that hunger to make money and get power. I mean, it determines how far people go and become successful in business. If that need is internalized, they can become successful in business and also successful at being happy people. I mean, meditation, as I explained to somebody today who's a new student who'll be coming tomorrow to, you know, meditation is a craft. That's all it is. You know, and there are 4 tools in this craft. One of is the mind, the other is the breath, the other one is the will to do it, to overcome all of the obstacles that are always put in your path when you want to have a spiritual life. And the 4th one is the hunger, the need inside. Please try and sit up and do the meditation. Julie, try to sit up and do the meditation while I talk. Thank you. Those four elements determine how far somebody goes. And of course, the ultimate goal is not some kind of ravenous conquering of the world. I once said to my teacher, you know, with the kind of power you have, you could easily become a dictator. And he just said, what a bore, you know? They said, what a boring, terrible way to live one's life. Giving and receiving and generosity of heart and spirit. So, you know, when you ask questions, tap that need inside yourself, that profound need. Does anyone else have a question they would like
to ask? Stuart?
Yes.
Why we sometimes have bad day? I have today. I was feeling.
I don't understand. Why do we have what?
Bad day. Nothing goes well.
Why don't you ask, why do we have good days? You know, we have good days and bad days, you know?
I know, but
look,
today...
Good and bad, wait a minute. Good and bad and right and wrong is simply a reflection of what goes on inside your mind.
Okay.
That's it. You know, the mind, you project what's inside you, the negativity inside you, you have a bad day. Because
in my mind or in my body, because in my mind I was feeling quite well today, but I don't know, in my body deeply, maybe it is something bad.
I mean, look, you can take a negative day and turn it into something extraordinary if you learn how to transform it inside yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, I always tell people when there's something good happens to us, it's always followed by something negative, always. And when something negative happens to us, it's always followed by something positive, always. Because that's the way energy manifests on the earth. Positive and negative, right and wrong, good and bad. It's all polarity. So when you have positive, take it into the third chakra, transform it into chi. When you have negative, do the same thing. Learn how to create balance and how to transform both positive and negative into energy that helps you to grow spiritually. Because they're both going to happen. And it's naive to think that everything is going to be positive all the time. That's not the way the world works here. It works with polarity, with things, you know, conflicting with each other. And then we have to learn how to create this harmony and balance from all of this, how to transform both positive and negative into energy that gives us a spiritual life. That's what we do here. But not to think, well, why is today negative? Why is I'm sad? You know, doesn't do anything. But can I take that energy and bring it into my third chakra and transform it into chi and make it work for me so that I can grow because of whatever I'm experiencing during the day?
Mm.
If you don't do that, then every day is positive and negative. One day you're a little, it's like manic depressive. One day you're a little up, the next day you're down, up, down, up, down. It's like riding an elevator. You know, and neither one works, but the ability to create harmony and to, you know, bring those two elements together and transform them into what teaches you how to grow. Then there's no more positive and negative. There's just energy that you can use to build your life. I have negative days. I have difficult days. They don't bother me. All right, what am I learning today from this? Okay, how can I transform this? How can I get stronger because of this and not allow this to bring me down?
I managed actually quite well today. I smiling and I breathing, and it goes well. But it was
well, Flora,
strange
you
because
get stronger. You got to go
Hmm.
deeper and get stronger. That's all.
Hmm.
That's it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you don't do that, then you have this the rest of your life. But there's the possibility of doing this, of learning how to do, building a system that can do this. And then you don't have this the rest of your life. You have everything in life becomes your teacher. Everything becomes an opportunity to grow instead of an opportunity to defeat yourself. I mean, it took me years to learn it took a long time to learn how to do what I'm talking about. So that at least, the day isn't just a ping pong match between positive and negative. The world isn't that way when you can master it and turn it into, what is it teaching me? How can I grow because of this? How can I evolve and build a stronger inner life because of this? And then you eliminate positive and negative. Just energy.
Thank you.
I hope it's clear what I'm talking about, because it's so
Yes.
important to learn this, because it really saves ourselves from so much aggravation and so much suffering, and this whole defeatist thing that is in people. Oh, I'm miserable today. I can't get out of bed, can't do anything. It really saves us from living that way.
Mm.
When you can use everything as an opportunity to grow. Then there's no more positive and negative. There's just, how do I use today to grow?
Both of them. I didn't know. Good and bad.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Yeah, Stuart. There's different times in the practice where I feel very connected, very grounded and open. And then there are other times where I feel like I drift into almost like a dream-like state. And just like when we dream, how there are fears and unreal things that come up. Is that part of the practice? Do we need to go through that to clear that out? Or or does that subside with strength and practice?
That's part of the process.
Part of it.
It's all of what exists inside you, Eva. When you do this inner work, you connect with everything that exists inside you. And all of this comes up. Dream-like states, positive, negative, this, that, clarity, it's all inside. And then you have the opportunity to draw all of this into the chakra system and turn it into energy that helps you to grow. But if it doesn't come up, you don't know what you're fighting against. And it's all going to come up. It's inside. And it also determines the way you see the world. You see the world negative. One day, oh my God, life is so horrible. It's not that life is horrible. It's no different than the way it was yesterday. It's that something was released inside you that's negative, that's been there for years. And suddenly we see life as being horrible. Life is not good. Then you have the opportunity to transform that and to turn into energy that really helps you to grow. And the thing is, you stop seeing the world that way. You stop constantly seeing these negative things. You just see and then you can use it to grow, to fix yourself. I mean, this is the human part of the meditation, everything I've been talking about today. And it's so important to learn these things, because how does the spiritual manifest if we can't transform all the blocks and tensions in ourselves into harmony and balance? How do we get the spirit to come into us? Does anyone else have a question? I mean, it's hard to take a look in the mirror and say, it's me. It's not the reflection. I used to kid around, you know, if you have a pimple on your face, you don't put salve on the mirror. You put it where the pimple is. You know, and it's the same way with our problems. We look in the mirror, we see all these problems, and we're trying to fix them out there, and it doesn't work. If you fix them inside, suddenly what you see in the mirror changes. Does anyone else have a question they would like to
ask? Stuart, I'm feeling a bit awkward getting the Kriyas. I'm afraid I'm disturbing. I don't know. I feel it's a bit.
You're disturbing who?
The class.
You're not disturbing the class, kind of, you know?
When I'm getting the Kriyas. I don't know. I think I need you to say something to alleviate my...
You're not disturbing the class. Kriyas are part of it. It's just fine. If you were disturbing the class, I would tell you.
Okay.
The Kriyas are part of it. It's the energy breaking up the blocks inside you. They're very important. And just let it work.
Mm. Okay.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, well, anyway, thank you. Bless you all. And I love the questions. They make me go deep inside, to tap my hunger inside, to truly have a spiritual life. And thank you. God bless you all for being here and for being part of this. And there'll be a class on Thursday. Hopefully people will attend. I'm looking forward to it. And have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. People are everywhere here. So have an incredible night. And it's just a blessing to be able to see here and do this with people on 3 different continents. You know, it's extraordinary. It's truly extraordinary. I always kid around, I should get in touch with the United Nations and maybe we can get some peace in the world, you know, doing this kind of work. But thank you and bless you. And I will see everybody on Thursday.
Bless you too. Thank you.
Thank you for
so
the
much.
incredible deep teaching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bra ska det. Vill veta. Hej.
What happened here? Oh, here it is.
Bye-bye. Ciao.